is this? What is this? How you doing there, my dear brothers and sisters? Leben Schmull here.
All right, get that out of here. I'm right here. Hey, what is this? What is this? It's a prophecy alert, that's what it is. Start over. Hey, look at Laban. Look how he's smiling real big. You might ask.
Hey, what happened?
Well, Fred, let me tell you what happened. You're not going to believe this. I was working on a video. Smack, vap, throw it out the window. Elohim got something else in mind. I got an email sent to me by my dear sister in Alaska, Kina. Oh, Kina. You're not going to believe this. Let me show you.
So here's the email. I got the email, and it says here, French dude steps down. French dude steps down, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what the heck? What? Trudeau, the little idiot from Canada, is resigning or something? Or what do they do? Catch him with a Muslim in a closet? I don't know. And then I'm thinking, French dude steps down, and she's got the link, Jerusalem Post link. So I click on that, and that's what I get. And that's what comes up right there. And I'm thinking, who's this? I don't know who that is. Looks like Salman Rushdie. What's she doing? Putting Israel down now? And so I'm thinking, I don't get this. Let me scroll down a bit. And then I see it. I see it right there. So I click on it. And this is the headline that Kina wanted me to see. Ho, ho! French Foreign Minister FABIUS, however you want to say it, steps down. Steps down. Ho, ho. Oh, we finally read of this pest. I don't know. Maybe he's gunning for Ban Ki-moon's job as Secretary General of the UN. But for right now, I just love seeing those words. Steps down. When I saw that, let me tell you, if I was a fiddler, I'd be up on the roof. Remember the first time we heard from the Snudnik? It was May of 2014.
We have 500 days to avoid climate chaos.
500 days to avoid climate chaos. And speaking of that, he went on to preside over the auspicious 2015 Climate Change Conference in Paris last November into December. Check this out. Here he is banging the gavel to close this farce.
Je regarde la salle, je vois que la réaction est positive, je n'entends pas d'objection. L'accord de Paris pour le climat est accepté.
The accord for the climate is accepted. Oh, look who's there. Al Gore right there in the front row. Look at him. Oh, wait a second. There we go. Ha ha, right in the front row. Go ahead. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Look who it is. You know who that is? That's Christina Figueres. Remember her? I showed her in this video here. Remember what she said? The stars are aligning toward a Paris Agreement. Well, they lined up all right, didn't they, Christina? Why don't you ask Naomi? You know Naomi, don't you, Christina? Naomi Klein, the queen of the global warming climate change activists. Here's her take, Christina, on how the stars lined up for your Paris Agreement. In an article from the website youractive.com dated December 11, 2015, the very last day of the climate conference, Klein said this. Klein, described by many in her audience as a star last night, said any deal was doomed to failure. This climate meeting failed before the meeting started, she said. What do you think of that, Christina? But you see, my friends, she's not the one we're worried about. It's him. This one here. Brothers and sisters, the fact that this man has just stepped down, February 11th, 2016, is very momentous and ultra-prophetic. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. Let me point out one more thing before I continue on. I just said that this man stepped down on February the 11th. And you know, there was another very important personage on the world scene who made an announcement of resignation on this very same day. But in the year of 2013, it was this man, Benedict the 16th. And I'm sure that many of you recall that only hours later, after the announcement, yeah, that happened. Just a little food for prophetic thought. I said at the beginning of this video that Elohim Shmakvac changed the whole thing when I got that email from Kina. And you can, if you know Kina, you can verify this because I sent an email back to her and I said, oh my, the video's gonna take a turn now. I scrapped everything I was doing and I got right on this. In the other video, the one that I was working on, I was going to feature a man that many of you are familiar with. This man here, Avi Lipkin. This is one of the most intelligent men on this earth, my friends. He has information like none other. I'm going to leave a link to this video, plus other. He's got a whole YouTube channel now. And he posted this particular video on February the 3rd, 8 days before FABIUS announces his resignation on the 11th. I watched that video that very day, February the 3rd, and I snapped into action. When Avi starts the video, he gives a little rundown of what he's going to talk about, and then he says this.
And of course, we're going to talk about other things, such as Laurent Fabius, who is the foreign minister of France, who is suggesting to hold a Middle East peace conference sponsored by the French. And this is, I think, something that is incredible, because the results of the peace conference are either there will be a Palestinian state or there will be a Palestinian state, which of course is completely crazy. And so Secretary of State Kerry of the United States, of course, doesn't quite understand what the French are doing. So it'll be interesting to watch exactly what the French are planning. And don't forget, behind the French are the Americans, behind the French are the Europeans, except for certain East European countries which are smart and understand that Israel is being thrown under the bus by the more Western European countries, of course, to maintain peace in their countries from the Muslim migrants who are coming there. So Fabius, what he wants to do is to have a peace conference in which the Palestinians, in the end, get a state no matter what happens. In other words, if they can make a deal with the Israelis, which means Israel has to give up Jerusalem, East Jerusalem has to give up the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, which means the uprooting of 400,000 Jewish people in Judea, Samaria, West Bank, and another 250,000 Jews from East Jerusalem. That's the condition. And anyone who thinks that Israel is going to do that is psychotic, meaning living in castles in the air, because Israel will never do it. So the French say, if Israel doesn't agree to these conditions, then France unilaterally will recognize a Palestinian state, which of course will never recognize the Israeli state. The Palestinians don't recognize the right of the Jews to a national homeland. So what the French basically are doing is supporting terrorism, supporting increasing attacks against the Israelis. And if the Israelis take measures against these terrorists, then other European nations as well will jump on the bandwagon against Israel. So this is something which I believe Laurent Fabius has the backing of President Obama. So this whole debate about a Palestinian state, this whole debate about the Europeans supporting the Palestinians in a terror war, this whole debate about perhaps, God forbid, the U.S. sending its military against the state of Israel, all of these things are very horrible things that are about to happen this year. I believe that the United States, if it does these things, will be judged by God. I don't know if it will be through terrorism. I don't know if it will be through earthquakes. I don't know if it will be through volcanoes or hurricanes or terrible things that God does. So we're living in interesting times. I do believe that millions of Jews are going to be coming home to Israel very soon with their spouses and children. So this is something we need to watch imminently. Thank you very much, and shalom.
Brothers and sisters, when I heard Avi say that, I said, oh my goodness, I had recorded that headline, the one you're seeing right there, France to recognize Palestinian state unless deadlock with Israel broken. FABIUS threatened to just go ahead and do it, to just recognize it no matter what. And I thought, I'm going to do a video about this, and because if Avi's talking about it, well, hey. And then I get the email from Kina saying that he's stepped down. I mean, what are we to deduce from this? I mean, is Francois Hollande, the president of France, is he backtracking on this? Is he changing his mind? Is Laurent Fabius too pushy about this? Are they going to get somebody that's going to support Israel? Or are they going to get somebody bolder than Fabius? Who knows? I'm telling you, this is crazy.
He's gone, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. He's gone. Oh, Hall Notes couldn't sing it any better, could they? All right, my friends. I gotta tell you, I said in my last video how we was living on a roller coaster. Remember how I showed you the old time one? Well, it's not that old time. This was the Wildcat from Hershey Park, my favorite coaster of all coasters. Not that dangerous.
Nothing at all like this monstrosity here, my friends, the King the Car. It has a 400-foot plus drop. This is in New Jersey somewhere, I think. King the Car. It should be called the Change Your Pants. My friends, I've been saying it in my emails, in my comments below the videos, how spiritually, physically, emotionally, it's like we're always on some kind of crazy roller coaster nowadays. Most of all, I think financially. It used to be that those stock market charts used to look like the old coasters, but now they should look like King the Car there. Straight up, straight down. Look, for example, just over the past month, January the 12th, 2016, U.S. stocks end higher. NASDAQ snaps 8-day losing streak. Dow closes up 117.65. But then the very next day, January 13th, Dow plunges 365 points on fears of oil plunge and China. And then on January 14th, Dow jumps 228 points. Best days since early December. Look at that. That's just 3 days in a row last month. Up, down, up, down. I'm going to put the Dow Jones website archive for you so you can go. You can look every day. You can look every day for years, but just look for this past month. You can see it up, down, up, down. It's like that King the Car. And you can bet that them guys on the Florida and New York Stock Exchange are changing their pants. And what about today's markets? February 11th. 2016, the day that French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius, arguably the most visible of all European foreign ministers, has his stepping down affected today's markets? Let's take a look. February 11, 2016, poor earnings and Sweden's rate cuts slam European banks. Dow falls 200 as Europe tanks. Europe has tanked. And here's one I really like. J.P. Morgan, it's hard to imagine an uglier morning. Now, there's no way to prove that Laurent stepping down is the cause of today's bad markets, especially in Europe. But hey, we can pretend, right? And you might be wondering how I got the title of this here prophecy alert, Bye-Bye Beanie. Well, I looked up to see what FABIUS means. You know what it means? It means bean. And then on another site, one who plants beans or bean planter. And this one here said he's Swedish. Swedish? That's par for the course. The Swedes hate Israel too. Is that disgusting or what? First Palestinian embassy in Western Europe opens in Sweden. Ugh. Well, at any rate, that's why I called this here video Prophecy Alert. Bye-bye Beanie. Bye-bye. Get out of here. Sicko. And if you'd like to go back and check and see if the stars did align when the Paris Climate Change Conference began on November the 30th, watch this video. I go into detail. Right, Christine? Look out. Well, my friends, at this time, the Dow is down 316 points. 316. At 12 minutes past 12 p.m., February 11, 2016, oil drops 4%. Man, oh man. Bill, remember all those stories about the 1929 stock market crash when people jumped out the window and stuff like that, threw themselves in front of buses and all that? Bill, perhaps now, if the bottom drops out on them, they could get on a roller coaster. Remember we was talking about roller coasters? What are you talking about, Lem? I'm talking about a new kind of roller coaster. I don't think it's built yet, but it's designed. Are you ready for this? This is one of the most disturbing things I have ever seen. Did you get that? Did you read that? Yes, that's what it says. Someone designed a roller coaster to kill people on purpose. It's a euthanasia roller coaster. That's right.
I'm Julianas Urbanas from Lithuania, and this piece is called Euthanasia Coaster. It's a euthanasia machine in the form of roller coaster, engineered to humanely with euphoria and pleasure kill a human being. It features a series of various pleasurable and thrilling experiences like G-forces produced by certain elements of a roller coaster. The death here occurs due to extreme G-forces produced by certain elements of a roller coaster. The coaster features two key parts. One is a drop tower, and another part is a series of loop elements. You are towed up to the top of a drop tower. You fall down 500 meters to achieve such a kinetic energy to ride through the loops, to be exposed for 1 minute under 10 G force. Your blood is rushed towards lower extremities, so there is lack of blood in your brain. So your brain starts to suffocate. And when it starts to suffocate, usually people become euphoric because brain concentrates on the very vital bodily activities. And it's not a fiction. Pilots usually are trained in human centrifuges to experience that. And you can see in a video they faint. It's so-called G-log, G-force induced loss of consciousness. To see the difference between the experiences of pilots and astronauts and the experience of rider, usually pilots experience such extreme forces just for a few seconds, while in the roller coaster the rider would experience for 1 minute. So nobody has experienced this for such a long time. Take existing euthanasia machines or rituals. These are medicalized, secularized, sterilized. In roller coaster, I introduce a ritual of doing that. So ritual is brought back to the contemporary description of death. So in this case of speculating about the future, you might see it as alternative euthanasia machine for future human beings, either for dealing with overpopulation or if your life becomes too long.
I don't know what to say. Do you know what to say? I don't know what to say. I think that is one of the sickest things that I have ever seen in my life. And I'm telling you right now, this dude here, Julioniotis Sobronis, I think he's going to the lake of fire. I'm not gonna, I'm just saying, on the face of it right now, according to his invention, the humane euthanasia coaster, you better get it together quick, pal. Loop the loop, come on now. Yeah, I think it's safe to say he's headed that way. I wonder if they'll depict a euthanasia coaster on Westworld. You know, that show that's going to be debuting sometime this year. It's kind of like an amusement park type of place, you know. Remember the description of that show? Westworld is a dark odyssey about the dawn of artificial consciousness and the future of sin. Well, let me tell you something, my friends. If that coaster, that euthanasia coaster, humane, let me add, if that's not the future of sin, I don't know what is. But come to think of it, it's really not. It's not the future of sin at all. Let me show you what the future of sin is. It's right here. The devil who deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone with a beast and the false prophet, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. That is Revelation chapter 20 verse 10. And there's this as well. Then death and Hades were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, and anyone not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. And that, of course, was Revelation chapter 20, verses 14 and 15. So you see, my friends, we know what the future of sin is. It is cast into the lake of fire along with all those who propagated it for lo, these many, many years. And they will never again be able to propagate it for another second, because they'll never get out of that lake of fire. No, no. And so, whatever you do, my friends, my dear brothers and sisters, don't get on that roller coaster. But hey, if you happen to have a fiddle, hey,